So the Eagles and Patriots completed the worst-kept secret of the offseason. As a loyal Philadelphia Eagles fan, I can understand the emotions some fans have about the situation, especially how long this situation played out because of the league's calendar year and the media needing clicks. Every day there was some calling for a trade, others saying it was never going to happen, and mounts of evidence saying it is eventual. From my perspective, I think we have to appreciate what we had and be willing to move on without a grudge. Sports teams are businesses, and athletes are independent contractors to some degree. In any business, when there is a disconnect between the visions of both sides, the best path may be to part ways. There should not be resentment. In the end, both sides benefited from the 4-year partnership. The Philadelphia Eagles shocked the football world when they traded for A.J. Brown and then signed him to his initial major contract of his career. This was coming off an Eagles playoff appearance during Jalen Hurts' first full year as a starter, Smitty's first season in the league, and Coach Sirianni's first full season in charge. Remember, the Eagles had just made the playoffs by the skin of our teeth, and then were immediately bounced by Tom Brady and the eventual Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We were better than expected during that year, but it was a pivotal moment and entered that offseason needing to build upon the talent on the roster. Trading for Brown helped cement the momentum. What was the result? In his 4 years in Philly, the Eagles made the Super Bowl twice, winning once. Half the time the Eagles were in the biggest game of the season. Simply put, there was a lot of winning that took place. The Eagles were consistently in contention, winning 3 division crowns. Should have been 4. For us Eagles fans, the results were more than we probably could have expected entering that draft night. All things come to an end, and we should be able to acknowledge that overall this has not been a contentious ending to this relationship. There were some uncomfortable moments, but it was not like what we have experienced in the past here or around the sports world. Some moments and comments by Brown had you scratching your head. But he did not hold out, never really said anything negative. The media may have tried to make the words appear negative, but listening to the context and content makes all the difference. Overall, Brown was unhappy but still came to work every day. We can only speculate if it impacted his play at times. The playoff drops were hard to overlook, but it is hard to judge him that harshly when the overall offense was problematic the whole season. We cannot expect a player to reasonably set aside personal aspirations completely in favor of the overall team success. How many times in your work life have your company and department performed great with historic metrics, but you did not feel valued or appreciated? No reasonable person would hold it against you if you decided to pursue other opportunities. Same with athletes. The whole above the self only lasts for so long and only goes so far. At some point, especially in career fields where there is a great deal of risk and early expiration dates, there is a need to maximize personal outcomes when you feel the status quo ran its course. It may be uncomfortable, but sports really are transactional. At the end of the day, fans support teams. Players come and go, teams remain. Fans appreciate players that play their entire or their prime with the team like family. Other players are acquaintances. We appreciate the memories, but you move on and so we have to move on as well. Personally, I still always wish nothing but the best for any former Philly player, except when they face my teams. Going forward, I understand it is hard to feel like we are going to be better after losing an all-pro wide receiver, but I think all the moves Howie made during the offseason will alleviate the impact and set us up to move on. I believe we have the opportunity to be less dependent on just 2 stars and hopefully able to utilize the whole host of talent to become far from predictable. There was a lot of trust placed in various groups of people to make this trade come to fruition. The Eagles and Patriots had to trust one another as there was a need to delay its execution. Brown had to trust that he would end up with his preferred team. Eagles fans have to trust that we are prepared to make a smooth transition and still contend with the many great players that remain. Trust is important in sports. You have to trust your teammates to play their parts, coaches to prepare you in an effective and efficient manner, and the front office to maintain an overall organizational culture and growth business for all parties and stakeholders. Now, let us talk about trust a little bit more, as it is our underlying theme. Why should anyone believe you? The pillars of all relationship types in our lives are trust and respect. Can you rely on the other person to honor their commitments, be fully accountable for their actions, and vice versa? Whether it is a friendship, marriage, or some form of professional relationship, the relationship is completely dependent on trust. From a professional and economic perspective, people can form respect from seeing someone's accolades and accomplishments, understanding their reputation without fully knowing them. But the next step is being able to develop a level of trust that a person can fill an organizational need or provide a purchase service that you are either unable to do yourself or it is more cost-effective to outsource. Sometimes, we believe that just because a company or individual hires you or does business with you initially means that they trust you. Not necessarily. It just means they are giving you an opportunity to earn their trust in future business as a potential result from that. Interviewing someone or engaging with a business can be misleading because people are always on their best behaviors at the beginning. For example, there are many reasons you trust certain mechanics to work on your car. When you first visited their shop, there was probably a good level of anxiety about the experience. Would they be able to identify the issue and fix it? Is their estimate fair, or do they try to upsell you in a manner that exploits an asymmetric information gap? Companies should upsell to grow, but the manner matters and can erode trust. A good salesperson does not need to create a false sense of urgent need. Rather, they could offer the product or service to a customer and highlight the benefits. Appeal to the side of the person that wants to avoid future expenses by protecting their asset today. On the other side of the transaction, the business owner may value the financial impact of upselling, but should also value the financial security with stability in their customer base. Making a quick buck in a manner that alienates customers is the kind of short-term thinking that harms the viability of businesses that have ready competition. You should have more trust in employees that can retain and grow customers than ones that can make single transactions. Why did I vote for you? I am not sure most people really know why they vote for who they vote for. Sure, people we vote for tend to be the ones that have developed a level of trust in us to believe that the ideas they put forth will deliver what the public needs. For many people entering politics, they have a tough task at hand to make the public know who they are and to trust that they care and have the ability to address the issues that matter to them. Many politicians will go out and offer a grandiose of ideas and eloquently detail them, but are they going to even be in a position that can deliver those promises? Sometimes the public does not qualify the rhetoric that they are being told or simply recognize when a person is just touting the party line, but if it is entertaining, it is usually trusted by some. Many people hear things and compare the ideas to their level of expertise and understanding, but there are gaps obviously. Many lack economic understanding, which is why there are people who accept these radical socialist ideas. There are gaps in understanding the critical issues in certain industries, which is why people are hesitant for action in those spaces. There is a need to broaden our understanding of a variety of issues, but there is also just a need to justify our trust and self-check our processes regardless of what side of the political aisle you reside on. Question why you trust or distrust a candidate and whether you are acting based on your core principles and needs or simply political cheerleading. After all the ballots are counted, all residents regardless of who they cast their vote for still need to trust that at minimum there will be some reasonable policies, and that the person will listen to reason once in office and realize radical ideas do not really work. Most importantly, the candidate turned elected official then places a great deal of the public's and their own trust into the people they appoint to carry out the agenda they ran on and the work of the people. Hiring the wrong person or not holding everyone accountable or being an elected zombie vegetable will make people lose trust, opponents and supporters alike.